Hello again. Easter has come and gone this year, 2012. This is Monday, and I had told you Friday that I would attempt to explain about how the cross, meant to be a torture device, could come for Christians to be a symbol of love. I'll get to that in a moment, but first let me pick the story up. Jesus is put in a tomb, according to the story, a newly made tomb prepared for somebody else, and a very huge rock is put in front of the tomb, and Roman soldiers are put there to guard it so that nobody messes with that body. This is Friday night. Nothing is known about Saturday, but on Sunday morning, all four scriptures have an account of this. When the women go to dress the body, to oil it, to perfume the body, they find that the tomb is empty. The stone has been rolled away. There's no body in the tomb. And if you're really interested in this, you probably should read each one of the versions. At first, Mary Magdalene, I believe it is, assumes that someone has stolen his body. But Christians believe that what happened was not that his body was stolen, but that he came back to life, that he was resurrected, that he had rebuilt the temple of his body in the 3 days that he had talked about before. Now this is not logical. Earlier in this course, I had told you that Sunday, we live in a very Greek world, but among Christians, Sunday, well, not just Sunday, I mean in Christian thinking, part of it is not Greek. This is not logical. There is no proof of this. There is no evidence of this. This is a matter of faith. But Christians believe this. And they believe that since Jesus defeated death, was stronger than death, they also do not have to be afraid of death. You know, how to put Christianity in a nutshell, I just can't do it. But I don't want to try and do it badly. The thing I guess to understand, if you're just going to understand a little bit of this, is that Jesus was innocent. He had done nothing wrong. He was that perfect sacrifice. He was sacrificed. He allowed it to happen. And he did it for the sake of those who believe in him. It's hard to talk about this. From another perspective, if you want to, so there don't need to be any more sacrifices. There don't need to be any more prophets. Christians believe that age is over. But in a sort of a simpler way, if you want to understand how Christians are different from, say, Judaism. And I hope I've got this right. This is sort of dangerous territory in a way, because the Christians embrace the Old Testament, but they also embrace the New Testament. And I think in a word, it's forgiveness. Christians are instructed to forgive, and they believe that their sins are forgiven, and that was accomplished by Jesus. It's no more an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. You get what you deserve. I think Christians basically feel that they're not getting what they deserve. They're sinful, but they are forgiven, and therefore they should forgive. Now, so many Christians don't really live up to that. You know, when you look at history and you look at the tremendous hatred, wars that have occurred, even in the name of Christianity, it doesn't measure up. But still, I would use that word. Well, anyway, Jesus later on, he appears to his disciples, particularly doubting Thomas. Thomas, he has that nickname, Doubting Thomas, because he said, no, He wasn't going to believe that. He'd have to actually put his hands, his fingers in Jesus' wounds before he could believe that Jesus had come back. But he gets that opportunity. Something else, I don't have it written up here, but there are two epic themes that are strong here. One is journey to the land of the dead and return for the sake of somebody else. Now, an enormous difference is that Christians believe that this really did happen. And then the other one is the absent king and people waiting for the return of a king, as in King Arthur. Christians are waiting for a time when Jesus will come back. That's Judgment Day. And I'm going to leave this because I don't want to be a preacher, I don't want to be a Sunday school teacher, but I would like to give you a handle on trying to understand how Christians think, or should think. Now, two poems that I recommend. If you're more interested in this, there are two chorales. Now, a chorale is older than a hymn. Bach, Johann Sebastian Bach, harmonized both of these. He harmonized this one in many ways. But anyway, for the events of Good Friday, a chorale whose English translation is O Sacred Head Now Wounded, I recommend it, either in English or the original German. I recommend it. It's very powerful. For he who dies believing dies safely in thy love. I'm quoting it. How can you die safely? That's an oxymoron. But to Christians that makes sense. And then Christ Jesus lay in death-strong bands. Todesbanden is the name of that in German. I recommend that one as well. I rather like that hymn because it portrays Jesus almost as a warrior battling the devil. He won. He had to fight the devil in hell, but he won like a warrior. And then the hymn, it's not really a chorale, but the hymn Jesus Christ is Risen Today is probably the single most popular hymn to be sung on an Easter morning. I recommend that as well. I'm sure you can find them all over the place on YouTube. The movie Jesus of Nazareth, done by Zeffirelli, again, I just cannot learn. One of those is doubled. Probably the F is doubled. Zeffirelli, Franco Zeffirelli, once again, he did a monumental poem about a movie about the life of Jesus. I recommend it. I've not watched it all. I think it's interesting that that the Virgin Mary, he used the same actress there that he used in Romeo and Juliet when he was just beginning his career, Olivia Hussey, a beautiful young girl and a beautiful woman. And then the rock opera, Jesus Christ Superstar. It might not be for you. There were some people who didn't care too much for that. Around the same time, there was a musical called Godspell that got more popular, I think partly because it was easier to deal with. I liked it. And I recommend it. It gave me a new insight on this whole story. All right, well, I guess I'm going to leave the Easter season now and that flashback to the early Christians. I'm now going to go on to Renaissance Man.